Look, remember that talk we had about how 90% of tradespeople end up physically wrecked by 45? It was heavy and honestly a bit bleak. But after that video went live, I spent all night reading through the hundreds of comments you left, and it completely shifted my perspective. Among the stories of blown-out knees and fused spines, there was a vocal minority, the last 10%. These are the people in their 60s who are still on the tools, still profitable, and who actually feel good when they get out of bed. After talking to them, I realized they are not just lucky. They have a system, a maintenance protocol they have been running for decades. Before we dive into their blueprint, I want to hear from you. If you have been in the game for more than a decade, drop a yes in the comments if you are already feeling trade rot, or tell us your age if you are part of that healthy 10%. It helps the younger workers see that there is a way to do this right. And if you want to make sure you are still standing by retirement, hit that subscribe button. We are building this survival guide together. Now, let's walk through the survival blueprint these veterans are using to beat the odds. We've all been there, man. You are 22, the foreman is watching, and you want to show everyone you are the strongest guy on site. You manhandle that engine block, or you carry 3 sheets of 3/4-inch plywood by yourself just to save a trip. But to the veterans, they do not see a hero. They see a guy who is going to be on disability by 35. One mechanic in the comments said something that stuck. Ego is the fastest way to a herniated disc. The 10% treat their joints like expensive machinery. If there is a dolly, they use it. If there is a forklift, they wait for it. They never kneel on bare concrete. They use the pads every single time. Mechanical advantage is not being lazy, it is being a professional. It is about making sure you can still walk to your truck when you are 60 instead of needing a walker to get to the mailbox. But even if you stop lifting like a maniac, there is a silent rot happening to your body that most guys do not notice until it is far too late. Let us talk about the gear that actually stops it. 2. The silent rot. PPE isn't for nerds. The thing about trade injuries is that they're usually silent. You don't wake up one day and suddenly realize you're deaf or your lungs are scarred. It is a slow, microscopic decay that happens over thousands of hours. The 10% who make it are annoyingly disciplined about protection. They put earplugs in before the saw even starts, and they wear respirators even for quick 5-minute sanding jobs. But they also look at the parts of the body we ignore, like our feet. One veteran machinist said he spends $300 on custom orthotics every single year. Why? Because if your foundation is off, the rot travels up to your knees, then your hips, and finally your spine. You can replace a pair of boots every 6 months. You cannot replace your kinetic chain. Now, you can have all the best gear in the world, but if you're fueling the machine with trash, it's still going to break down. This next part is where 99% of us are failing every single morning. 3. Stop fueling yourself with garbage. We need to have a real talk about the trade diet. You know the one, the 6 a.m. Monster energy drink and a lukewarm gas station meat pie eaten over a trash can. Look, I've done it too, but we are essentially pouring acid into a high-performance engine and wondering why it's smoking. The guys who are still going strong at 65 were incredibly vocal about this. Inflammation is the enemy. If you are living on sugar, caffeine, and adrenaline, your body never actually repairs the micro tears from the day's work. You are just masking the pain until it becomes chronic. One viewer shared that he started swimming twice a week just to decompress his spine, and it saved his career. It is about hydration and recovery, not just toughing it out with a 6-pack of beer at night. But here is the hardest truth of all. Even if you eat right and wear the best gear, there comes a day when you have to stop working like a 20-year-old. Here is how the pros actually transition out of the labor. 4. Use your brain, not just your back. Eventually, you have to have an exit strategy. Even with perfect maintenance, a 60-year-old body should not be doing the same repetitive labor as a 20-year-old. The last 10% understand that their most valuable tool isn't their hands, it's their head. The guys who survive are the ones who learn to sell their wisdom. They move into estimating, where they can spot a problem in 5 minutes that would take a rookie 5 hours to find. They move into project management, or they start mentoring. They use their apprentices as their hands while they provide the brain. They realized early on that their trade knowledge is worth way more than their physical force. The bottom line. At the end of the day, quality rot is not just about old buildings or broken tools, it is about us. You can have $100,000 in a toolbox filled with the best gear on earth, but if you cannot stand up to open the drawers, it is all for nothing. Your body is the only tool in the shop you cannot buy a replacement part for. So I'm curious, especially for the veterans who have been doing this for 30+ years, what is the one piece of old man gear you wish you had started using when you were 21? Let me know in the comments because we are all trying to make it into that 10%. Catch you in the next one.